Yes, no doubt about that. By the way, Tainari mentioned in his letter that you had questions for me regarding Irminsul. Sorry about that. Sounds like just drinking juice still isn't quite enough for my stomach.
Well, if somebody hadn't dropped the food earlier... Anyway, looks like we'll need to prepare something ourselves. Besides, Paimon's getting hungry too. Let's eat first and talk about Irminsul later. All right, we're up, traveler. Today's menu will feature sweet madame and a radish veggie soup. You'll love them, Hypatia. They're our specialties after all.
Sounds good. I've never tried any dishes from other nations before. I certainly look forward to it. It's been so long since I've had a decent meal, too. To be honest, the last time had to be when Tainari came to visit.
Let's use the empty box that Tainari gave us since we already washed it. Oh, it smells amazing. And the box is a nice touch, too. Let's go serve this up and start eating with Hypatia.
Are you already finished cooking? Smells delectable. I'm truly thankful whenever I can enjoy a proper meal like this. Cooking really isn't my forte. Even though everything you mentioned was in Tainari's letter, it's still hard to believe you were able to connect with Irminsul immediately after smelling Spirit-born eel for the first time. It took me nearly 3 years before I could do so. And everyone at the Academia even lauded me as a genius. You should know that some researchers spend their entire lives without ever successfully connecting with Irminsul as you have.
So why does this incense allow people to connect to Irminsul?
The ingredients used to make Spirit-born ale primarily consist of plants created by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. These special ingredients are conducive to heightening our senses to the Dendro Archon's power. Since the root of the Dendro Archon's power lies within Irminsul, we can occasionally tap into her powers to peer into the depths of the earth. That's all right. I'm sure you'll come to a clearer understanding as you remain in Sumeru.
Makes sense. But Paimon's got a question. Why was he sensitive to the smell of those plants for such a long time?
That was primarily due to his body's unique constitution. Stimulated by the incense, he could perceive the Dendro Archon's power and experienced a sensory overload, hence the adverse reactions. Taking in any scent similar to the ingredients of Spirit-born ale would cause adverse effects. Not to worry, though. It appears you've already fully recovered. Technically, your body should still be sensitive to the powers of the Dendro Archon, but unless you're using intentional meditation techniques, the scent of Spirit-born ale should no longer trigger such reactions.
Whew. Well, that's a relief.
I must admit, I am quite envious of your abilities. Even if it meant suffering from pounding headaches for the rest of my life, I'd consider it worthwhile so long as I could connect with Irminsul at will.
Whoa, you're really serious about this whole thing, aren't you?
I am a researcher after all. As a member of the Ritaoist Archon at the Academia, My main area of research is the stars and their connection to the fate of living beings. But there is still so much we don't know, especially regarding the mysteries that lie in the starry skies. Which is why I must turn to the all-knowing Irminsul for answers. If only my perception wasn't so limited. Unfortunately, I cannot guarantee that my every attempt to attune with Irminsul will be successful, or that doing so will leave my consciousness intact. I am currently in the stage of training known as Satyavada life. Many researchers in Sumeru have lost their minds while seeking to attune with Irminsul during this stage. Sages have said that Irminsul contains divine knowledge, and touching such knowledge without the proper preparations and abilities will only lead to one's mind caving in on itself. That's why we meditate alone. We need to ensure that our minds will be calm while minimizing the possibility of involving anyone else.
Whoa. So knowledge from Irminsul could be super dangerous. Don't you ever feel afraid of the risk, Hypatia?
Of course I do. Especially during nights that are pitch black with no moonlight, and dead silent without even the sound of insects. However, I've been feeling better as of late. I don't get as scared anymore knowing that I have a little neighbor living nearby. I believe that being able to see them is a sort of blessing from the Archon. But what's strangest of all is that they're clearly an envoy of the God of Wisdom herself, and they have the curious power to make people dream.
What's so strange about that? It doesn't sound so out of place for a divine being, does it?
Well, it's strange because nearly nobody in Sumeru can ever dream.
Huh. Is that true?
Yes, well, to an extent. Only children can dream in Sumeru. Adults, however, never do. The sages say that wisdom implies rationality, but that which occurs in dreams is often neither rational nor logical. Yes, if one struggles with anxieties, those emotions could influence their dreams. The fact that the people of Sumeru do not have dreams is seen as a blessing by the sages. They believe that Greater Lord Rukadevata, the god of wisdom, is keeping us away from the foolish delusions you encounter in your sleep. I was born into a family of scholars in Sumeru City. Ever since I was a child, my parents would always tell me that I'll know I've grown up once I stop dreaming. I studied hard, enrolled as a student in the academia, and went on to become a researcher. Sure enough, I never dreamed again. But then, on the day I scared the little Aranara, I suddenly saw a dream again. It was incredible. Though I don't exactly remember what I saw, I clearly recall the feeling. I suddenly felt like I was a child again. Back then, I was foolish and ignorant as any youth would be, but I was free of fear. Maybe dreaming isn't as bad as we've made it out to be. Just be sure not to speak of this if you travel to Sumeru City. They'll look at you as if you've lost your mind.
So, do you have any thoughts about the things he saw when he connected with Irminsul?
Sorry. I'm afraid I don't have any answers as of now. All I can say is that what you saw is a memory contained within Irminsul itself. World forget me. What could that possibly mean? If only I could ascend past Satyavada life and begin Paripurna life, I might have some more answers for you. If you two are ever in the area again, please be sure to come and see me. There's no need to be thanking me. You two are my saviors. Besides, I'm already looking forward to tasting some more of your cooking.
Now that we know Hypatia is alright and had the chance to ask her some questions, Paimon thinks it's about time to head back to Gandharvaville.